camp had barbed wire around it with sentry towers around it. And we asked, why do we have to have barbed wire and sentry towers, or guard towers as we called them? They said, well, it's for your own good and for your own safety. Well, then we asked, why are the guns pointing in instead of out? And they wouldn't give us an answer on that.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special news bulletin. The Japanese have attacked Pearl Harbor, Hawaii by air, President Roosevelt has just announced.
Ron Harano was just a boy when World War II started and was only 2 years old when the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor. The result of this attack caused a war in the Pacific and a distrust in Japanese Americans. This distrust put every Japanese American in internment camps, including Ron Harano and his family.
You could only take what you could carry. A lot of people in that time frame thought, well, are we coming back or not? They didn't tell us. So a lot of people sold their businesses, sold their refrigerators and cars and whatever they had for very, very cheap, because the people buying them knew we had to leave and they wanted to get rid of them. Tan Fran was a racetrack just outside of San Francisco. Many of the people had to live in horse stalls. We were fortunate we got there at a time when we could move into a barracks.
Throughout his time in camp, Ron's parents tried to focus on keeping a normal lifestyle. Ron recalled times when his family tried to make the best of a bad situation.
One time my dad says, why don't you guys make an ice skating rink behind the barracks? So we got busy with shovels, and we were fortunate the weather got cold enough that the ground froze, that the water didn't soak into the ground anymore, but it stayed on top. So we watered it pretty much all one day. We're using one garden hose to fill up an area that big. So it took a long time. So by the time evening time came, we had enough water in there to make ice that we could skate on it the next day. We did have one man who was blind walking his dog off harness, as we say, because he just wanted to let the dog walk. He was walking in the blank space between the buildings and the fence, and he was about halfway in between there. And the guard yelled at him. He didn't understand English, so he kept moving. He didn't know who he was talking to because he couldn't see, and so he had no clue what was going on, and he was shot because the guard thought he might be trying to escape.
Although Ron was not in battle, he and his family still had to fight for normalcy and survival. Even though Ron faced cruelty from his country, he does not hold a grudge and still chooses to serve his country.
So was it good or bad for us to be put in a camp? Was it the right thing to do? I'll leave that for you to decide.
Ron's story had a large impact on me as a person, and I learned that even with cruelty that people can face, you can learn to forgive.